Good morning. Welcome to day 22 of Black Music Month. Today I'm going to return to uh, talking about the work of a magnificent scholar of Black music. Uh, I'm really taking the time these days to just honor people who have really been a light to me as I've been on this scholarly path. And today I want to talk about the incomparable scholar Mark Anthony Neal. Mark's work is unsurpassed in its breadth, insight, impact, variety, and visibility both inside and outside of the academy. He's a remarkable and prolific researcher, writer, and pioneer who has made an indelible mark on the field of African American cultural studies by linking the concerns of the academy with new dissemination models in social media. Neal has without doubt been instrumental in the creation of not only a new mode of dissemination for serious ideas about Black popular culture, but his work has become his works, I should say, have become paradigmatic for how that work is conducted. Okay, I first learned about Mark through his first monograph, What the Music Said. And even at that point in his career, he set the standard for writing interdisciplinary work on Black popular music. With his training in American studies and a theoretical toolbox comprising cultural studies, Neal expanded his work into multimedia producing rigorous and adventuresome works that challenged how we thought about methodology and what topics were worthy of discussion. You can tell I'm reading because with this man's work, I don't want to miss a word. Okay, so this book really just set the paradigm. And even as early as 1999, he is in the last chapter getting into the digital era, which, as you know, was just really in terms of how scholarship was circulating and music as well. He's on the ground floor of all of those changes. Uh, Now let's move to these two books. Yeah, he's got a lot of books, so you're gonna be here for a little minute. Okay, this Songs in the Key of Black Life and Soul Babies. And now, in my mind, these two books are both clearly developed out of his classroom teaching, which I understand from his former students that I run into and know is exceptional. These books show him to be a master of the essay form, and they showcase his broad and deep knowledge of Black popular culture across several decades. So he's just not focused on what's going on around him. He's also a brilliant historian of these styles, so he can go back and talk about the 1920s as easily as he can talk about the 1990s and the millennial music making that we are experiencing now. I can think of no other cultural critic with as formidable a methodological toolbox and coupled with an intimate knowledge of historical texts. So whenever you talk to Mark Anthony Neal, you are you're talking to someone who actually knows a lot of music, knows a lot of books, knows a lot of essays. So he's not just taking a slim theory and applying it willy-nilly or very specifically to what he knows. He actually has an encyclopedic knowledge of many of the texts that that are being written about today. Now, in his book New Black Man, I don't have that book with me. He combines his academic concerns and his personal politics in a brilliant format that established him as the foremost authority of Black popular culture to a generation of scholars. And what I love about that book is that he is dealing with. And, I couldn't grab it easily off of my shelf because I actually had that book filed under memoirs, and I forgot about that because it has this very strong autobiographical element in it. And I think that's very important because what I noticed about many of the scholars and writers, particularly of those who began their careers writing about hip hop, the autobiographical and the ethnographical, let's call it, observations that they're making are central to how that scholarship and how that writing has progressed. And you have in his book New Black Man from 2005 a solid paradigm for how the personal is socially constituted, and by writing about that social constitution of the personal, we can get insights into musical, historical, literary text. So again, that New Black Man is a powerful. I think that's his manifesto, if you ask me. Okay, then there's his collaborative work, and that's the joint. In this book, the hip hop studies reader, you see him in community with many of the scholars who have made the study of hip hop central to what music departments and even English departments offer in the academy these days. Uh, this book, I think, single-handedly kind of organized the field for people so that one could make sense out of all of the numerous topics that were raised or have been raised in hip hop studies since the publication of Black Noise by Trisha Rose, and just a marvelous contribution to the field. Again, that it took a book like this to get an old head like me to understand exactly what comprised hip hop and what comprised its organized study. And finally, I want to talk about this book, Looking for Leroy. Now, I had the pleasure of, when my Bud Powell book came out, Mark and Greg Tate and I did a book tour of sorts where we were talking about our newest books that kind of used the idea of masculinity and masculinist discourses as a way to organize our thoughts about certain kinds of cultural productions. And man, we had a great time with this. And this is what I think is remarkable about this book, even as he talks about The Wire and Fame and all that, is that Mark is talking about these things in real time. So he's writing and observing these texts that he's writing about as they are occurring, as the audiences are consuming them, which gives them a kind of brilliant insight that I think future researchers who will turn back to these texts will be able to mine. And I'll also have to add here, as I end this post, that Mark is just a solid co-conspirator and friend and supporter. We all know that his New Black Man blog set the standard for those of us who were trying to, get in there with the likes of the Huffington Post and the Root. He's managed to keep that going for many, many years. And of course, we have to talk about the weekly webcast. It started weekly; it's probably not weekly anymore. Left of Black. Now, those of us in the field know that you love to get that email asking you to be a guest on Left of Black, which just shows the man's generosity and his focus on helping us push our own work. And he's given us this platform for so many years, and it's still going strong. So he's not an overnight wonder, not a one-night wonder. This man is in for the long game, and he's still yet at mid-career. So I'm just looking forward to what else he'll do. So today I'm honoring someone that I consider an intellectual mentor again is Mark Anthony Neal. I don't even have to say get to know his books. I know you've already read them. And that is the post today.